Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ethan Harris, and I'm here as the representative of the risk management team for Jetstar. My job is to analyze your business here at Jetstar and examine how it has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, what threats or risks may be present, and how you can best prepare for these risks. To do this, I have recently completed a threat analysis on the company, and I've collated this information for you into a corporate threat register. So if you would like to have this open on your computer, that may be helpful while we go through this analysis. It's important to note that this analysis is based on the ISO 31000 risk management framework. I've used sections 6.4.2, 6.4.3, and 6.4.4 respectively to identify, analyze, and evaluate this specific risk. It's also important to mention the reliability of my analysis, as it is based on reliable sources of information such as Deloitte, Goose Recruitment, Flight Global, and the Australian government. All right, so let's get into it. Following section 6.4.2 of the ISO 31000 framework, as you can see on the corporate threat register, the threat that I've identified and analyzed for your organization is the potential inability to meet increasing consumer demand for international travel. As the COVID-19 pandemic subsides, borders open, and consumer attitudes towards air travel return to normal, demand will continue to rise. According to a report by Fitch Ratings, international flights in Australia reached somewhere between 70 and 85% of pre-pandemic levels in March this year. That is a significant improvement over the last few years. But with the company struggling so much as it is, if demand grows too quickly from here, there could be significant issues. Labor shortages aren't new to the aviation industry. In fact, according to a study done by Goose Recruitment, strong global demand has meant that many regions have been experiencing an acute skills shortage for nearly 2 decades now. And if that isn't something that's alarming enough, back in 2022, a study showed that somewhere around 43% of pilots believed that there wouldn't be enough pilots to meet demand come 2027. Coupling this with Qantas and Jetstar collectively laying off or making redundant 2/3 of their workforce because of the pandemic, labor shortages are now worse than ever. Most airlines, along with Jetstar, are struggling to rebuild their workforces, particularly pilots, support staff, and engineers. With the COVID-19 pandemic causing a massive loss of skilled and trained workers, the aviation industry, and by extension Jetstar, may not fully recover until 2024, according to an analysis from Deloitte. So, how serious is this threat, and how likely is it to be realized? Well, if the demand for international travel returns to pre-COVID-19 levels too quickly, like by the middle of this year, for example, it would pose a moderate threat of risk to Jetstar. The shortage of skilled personnel poses a risk to operations which, according to the risk matrix that you can see in front of you, could potentially cause a moderate and sizable impact to revenues, profitability, or company image, potentially. So with Jetstar already facing delays and other similar issues, things could escalate rapidly if they're not addressed promptly. The company has historically prided itself on a safety-first mindset, and currently there are 5 of their 11 787 Dreamliner aircraft down for repair, waiting to be repaired by properly skilled workers. At the moment, the business is able to run without these planes, albeit with increased delays, but if many more go down, then it could become a decision between losing significant revenues or rushing the repairs. Because of these reasons, the threat was identified as almost certain to occur and cause moderate consequences to the business. Combining this likelihood with the moderate level of consequence, we get an overall risk evaluation of high from the risk matrix, meaning action is required with quarterly senior management reviews. So, what are the suggested actions that to take to resolve these issues or best prepare for them? I come up with two main actions to prepare for the risk. Firstly, undergoing extensive workforce planning to analyze staffing requirements for both the shorter term and the long term. This planning needs to encompass the recruiting, retention, and development of employees. Alongside this, Jetstar should investigate employing a comprehensive upskilling program to keep employees up to date on general industry practices. Second, one of the big problems is employee turnover. To address this issue and help to retain already skilled staff, Jetstar should increase its focus on staff compensation packages, a positive work environment, and career development. This will help with both maintaining current staff and attracting top industry talent. As for the risk preparedness actions, it is crucial to have triggers in place that would require immediate escalation to more senior management. For the workforce development and planning, changes in industry regulations or licensing certification requirements, as well as external influences such as a reappearance of the pandemic or a severe global economic recession, would be cause to involve upper management. For branding and employee retention, the main things that would potentially need escalation to upper management would be some kind of PR disaster or major problem that could otherwise negatively impact Jetstar's reputation. So in conclusion, the shortage of skilled and trained personnel is a cause of risk that could seriously affect Jetstar's operational efficiency and reputation. My analysis shows that this risk is almost certain to occur, and if it does, the consequences could be moderately significant. However, with proper risk assessment and preparedness actions, Jetstar should be able to mitigate the impact of this threat and maintain the industry's safety standards and the company's overall reputation for safety, as well as its branding. Thank you very much for listening to me.